of the total built space in the city of São Paulo was built to house the cars and not the people. Cars are taking over not only public spaces, they are taking over also private spaces. Like the replacement of ordinary commercial streets replaced by shopping malls. The shopping center is a model which is absolutely car dependent.
In order to have cities with sustainable mobility, where people walk and bike and take public transit, this is not a technical issue. This is not a financial issue. It's a political issue. There are some huge forces. Why is it that people are doing all of this housing in the suburbs, where people have to commute for 2 or 3 hours? Because many developers have huge pieces of land that are very inexpensive, so they make a lot more money using those lands and having people live far away. And then putting a lot of pressure on the government to build roads and to build bridges.
We are here unter den Linden. We also call it unter den Lobbyisten, which translates into among the lobbyists, because there are so many lobby offices along the road. Our data shows it has a clear bias towards the car industry. I will tell you a story about what that means for the environment. Here we are, as you've seen, in front of the Mercedes-Benz Cafe. You probably noticed that Daimler or Mercedes-Benz, they try to present themselves as a sustainable company. In comparison to all its European competitors, cars produced by Daimler are the worst in CO2 emissions. I'm sure you all know these so-called efficiency labels. So what do you think, this Fiat 500, where should it be in this list? A, B, A, B. What about this car?
That one was.
Okay, so very low, okay. And this tank, okay. Now the solution, surprise, the Fiat F, Mercedes-Benz, it's a large car. This is B, and the tank, the petrol tank, this is D. How does this efficiency behavior work? You think that this shows you the absolute CO2 emissions, but the calculation regulation is now the emissions per weight. So if a car is very thin, it gets a good rate. The idea of this efficiency label came from a European directive. Before this European directive had to be implemented in Germany, the German car lobby, they drafted their own efficiency labels. They presented it to the ministry, looked at our draft, this is how it would be done. So the efficiency label, as we had now, it was actually drafted by the car lobby.
It's unfair you categorize the auto industry as not wanting to do something. They, of course, want to do something. Their parents and mothers and fathers, they breathe the same air we all breathe. So if you hear that they're lobbying against it, if you hear they fight it, they're fighting it because they want to have it happen in a more natural way, and they have it in a more organic way because there's risk to their business. And you have to understand that, and that's why they do what they do. Don't think they're bad people. Don't think they don't want clean air. Don't think they don't want better fuel economy. Of course they do. You're going to watch over the next 10 to 15 years, I think we're going to see the automotive industry in a significant transition from what it was to what it's going to be. But it's always going to have that. There's always going to be a gasoline engine, and we're always going to have it. It doesn't need to go away. We don't need it to go away.
Hold the plank and walk yourself back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Without sticking your bum out. Come back up. That's why we get to do it again. Los Angeles is a city that is controlled by its city council members. So if you want something done in this district, if you want a freeway expansion, if you want bike lanes on Figueroa Street, the city councilman has the power of life and death over you.
There have been 9 fatalities on North Figueroa in 10 years. If we do not add bike lanes on North Fig to calm traffic, then what will we do to save lives?
Because this is part of an ongoing conversation. I want to be positive and constructive. We had another meeting last month. I think all of us have to be honest. We didn't do so well on the dialogue. Unless we say Jerry Springer is the type of dialogue that we want to have, right? So I'm looking up how much our local city councilman got from Chevron. He received, over the past few years, $11,000 in direct contributions from Chevron. Chevron spent $1.8 million on lobbying to defeat an anti-global warming bill. Chevron's interest is to see more freeways built, to keep the number of cars going. They own more gas stations than just about anyone else in Southern California, to not have environmental regulations on their refineries, and to generally make sure that they have someone friendly on their legislature. As I was asked before, what amount of deaths are acceptable in comparison to speed? I mean, I lost my wife, Charlotte. You want to ask me a question of what's acceptable in terms of somebody's death? 0. That's our goal. 0. Until he came into power, it was very unusual for these kind of corporate interests to interfere in LA City Council elections. As the City Council is a very local job, and it involves sort of helping local people. There is no question in my mind that that money will be used when he makes the decision as to whether we're going to build new freeways and build bike lanes. I cannot imagine the oil companies do not expect a payback on their investment.
So thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evening. Drive home safely, and we look forward to talking to you again. God bless everybody.
Eu acredito que a indústria automobilística, ela construiu uma rede de dependência pública e política que é muito difícil de se desfazer.
Pessoal, ele tá falando em nome de Haddad. Fala, silêncio. Meu pai tá em paz, não tá descansando, vai dormir. Ele quis ser prefeito. Não pode descer rapidinho?
Exatamente, abre o precedente. Será que o primeiro grupo de pessoas com qualquer pauta legítima na casa dele no domingo, ele nunca mais vai ter um domingo na casa dele.
When we start talking about closing down car industries, we are talking about shifting completely the economic model of development. I'm talking about a very broad coalition between unions and business and their lobby and their participation in the power structure and in the decision-making of policies of the country. That's why it's so difficult to change things.
Rê, é que cada um fala uma coisa, a gente não tem nada organizado.
Tem que ter uma carta, manifesto, entregar pro filho do cara entregar pro prefeito. Tem que começar a se organizar, articular, porque senão... Sabe o que acontece? Ele vai falar assim, ele vai chamar meia dúzia da gente e vai falar, conversei com ciclistas. E aí? Quem representa quem aqui, sabe? Quem são os representantes? Não tem representante. Tem que ter representação, entendeu? Vou tomar um café, eu acho. Ele é tão frio. Só que a gente tá chegando num ponto que é absolutamente impossível de viver. Aqui em São Paulo, os hospitais são lotados de crianças e idosos e pessoas com problemas respiratórios em função da qualidade do ar. Que pena que as pessoas não notaram que isso é um buraco negro sem fundo, que vai todo mundo por água abaixo. Eu penso que as cidades elas estão entrando em colapso, não tem muito o que fazer. Eu acho que é um caminho muito difícil de se reverter, porque as cidades elas são baseadas em dinheiro. Qual outra indústria teria tanto dinheiro para encarar a indústria automobilística de cara, de frente a frente? Não consigo pensar.
In 7 more years, from 1 billion to 2 billion cars. What is that? A disaster. And you don't need a crystal ball in order to see how much it will be a disaster. You just go to Mumbai, you go to Jakarta, you go to São Paulo or any big city, and you can see for yourself the situation where a car-oriented policy could lead. Nowhere.
The reality is that there is not one city in the world, medium-sized or large, that have solved the issue of mobility through the private car. None. And there is absolutely certainty that having more highways and more flyovers is not gonna solve the issue of traffic congestion. We are at a very exciting time, and we need to develop a sense of urgency because the population is going to grow another 2.5 or 3 billion people. Whatever we do or don't do is going to be there for hundreds of years. So we need to decide, how do we want to live?
The traffic jam is the solution. Before the traffic became so bad, it was very difficult to argue for alternative modes of transportation. Because of the traffic jam, it's much more easy to overcome this hegemonic mode of organizing cities towards a paradigm shift that includes bikes and public transportation, but also new ways of building our cities.
I think 50 years of experience shows us that you cannot make life better in the city by making more room for cars. LA has been the absolute worst polluted city 9 out of 10 years for the past 5 decades. And the only way to make a change is to reduce the number of cars. The only way to genuinely reduce cars is to make it more expensive to have cars, which means reducing the number of car lanes, reducing the amount of parking, increasing the prices, adding toll roads, and really making cars bear the cost to society that they actually create.
The citizens cannot be spectators on how the cities grow. The citizens need to participate and develop a sense of urgency and pressure the politicians to make the right decisions.
Essas entidades do PT. É dinheiro direto na veia do PT, na veia, direto, sem intermediário. Pega os companheiros.
Esse tapão dela. E aí?
Mais um round, hein?
Massa, hein?
Opa, vamos lá.
Qual que é a pauta hoje?
Hoje é grana. Money.
Eu acho que não dá mais, né? Carro já inviável para a cidade de São Paulo, tem que começar a pensar em alternativas. Uma delas é investir na bicicleta. Assim. Realmente é importante que a prefeitura destine um valor considerável, que invista na bicicleta e que saia do papel os projetos.
Na verdade, fomos informados, né, que essa verba, esse pedido seria revisto em função das restrições de endividamento do município.
Então, quer dizer, tudo mais complicado demanda mais tempo mesmo, né?
Teremos muito mais dificuldades, o dobro de dificuldades, na verdade. Nós não abandonamos de vez este projeto do 120, a gente está trabalhando neles.
Otimismo. Esse prefeito, ele tem demonstrado pelo menos um canal de diálogo. Só que é isso, canal de diálogo não muda a cidade. Como a gente fala aqui no Brasil, tem que ter culhão.
In 2011, they were shutting down the 405, which is the busiest freeway in the world. And true to the culture of disaster, which Los Angeles seems to be obsessed with, they called it Carmageddon. And they just drilled into us what a nightmare this was going to be, shutting down this freeway.
Think of China and what you've seen on TV, where they have 9-day long traffic closures on their freeways. It's going to be like that for 2 days. The only way we get through this is by everyone staying far away.
That Friday night, they shut down the freeway, and the next morning on Saturday, we woke up and we went outside, and it was utopia. I took my bike out, and I hit empty streets. Everybody was so scared of Carmageddon that they stayed home or they commuted to work via public transportation. People stayed local at night. They ate in local restaurants. They walked places. And the streets were clean and open. I really wanted to put my bike on the 405 freeway and ride on the 405. I rode my bike up Santa Monica Boulevard, and then I headed north alongside the 405 past Pico, and there's kind of a more furtive ramp there, and there was a police car there. So I kind of got disheartened, but I rode around, and about after 1 a.m., I started coming back, and I went back by that ramp, and nobody was there. So I took my bike, and I put it over the blockage to the ramp, and I got up on this freeway, and it was amazing. It was expansive and vast. And for the first time, being up on that freeway, I felt like this massive infrastructure, this miracle of human engineering was also built for me.
belo dia a gente acordou e tava na internet, todo mundo no centro, bicicletas. Desde que o Haddad entrou, por causa de uma mobilização dos ciclistas, ele assumiu um compromisso de fazer 400 quilômetros de via de planejamento cicloviário. E ele está colocando em prática. A prefeitura tá aí com um tapete vermelho na frente dela. Quem diria, né? Muito doido. Quem diria?
Legal.
I think more and more people in LA are coming to love the bicycle. I don't think it will ever be the dominant form of transportation, but I think more and more people are realizing it's the best form of transportation. Even people who might never ride a bike say to me, I wish I had the nerve to ride a bike.
Uma quebra de paradigma, no mínimo. É um momento de repensar. Então, acho que para o motorista é um momento de compartilhar, de pensar que a rua não é dele. O carro é seu, a rua não é sua. A rua é de todos. Não é uma guerra. Isso aqui é uma cidade.
This is a one-way street, actually, not for bikes.
That's gorgeous.
Sigan izquierda, muchachos, izquierda.
It's got a really cool map of the cycleway. You can see the old